Well, folks, evil AI wants your money. The WEF plans are working. It's hard to be overly optimistic when job opportunities nowadays are pretty much just going to artificial intelligence, especially with more workers now facing layoffs. I mean, it would be fine if people across the country had a lot of savings in their bank accounts, pretty much just kind of set aside, but I'm guessing that these job cuts will definitely lead to even more Americans swiping their credit cards just to get by. Now, one example of this rapid change comes from a freelancer who says that ChatGPT has made her obsolete. Emily Haney, who freelances as a copywriter, a writer, as well as a comedian, admits that clients decided to stop hiring talents like herself as they saw that ChatGPT could do the same job, but for much cheaper. She says that she was finally in a sustainable career before AI, working on web pages, branded blogs, online articles, social media captions, and email marketing campaigns. But slowly and surely, the assignments became less and less, which initially had Haney pretty much thinking that it was her fault for lacking the talent to be a professional writer. But as I said already, she wasn't even the problem, even though she says that she wishes that that was the case compared to what has actually happened. I mean, we can definitely improve our work, right? But if AI comes in and just outdoes us, then what can we do? I mean, ask anybody that works from a creative aspect. Most of us, we strive to be better than yesterday, but if a company can get almost the same output for significantly cheaper, of course, they're probably going to prefer that option. But this story is not just about losing a job or the onset of AI taking work from us. It's also about resilience. You see, Hanley, she looked for work for the next 3 months after her layoff, and she just landed a job. So what does she do? She now offers samples of sparkling water at grocery stores, probably Costco's or something. Now you have to understand that she's a great writer from the article alone, but she knew she had to work at any job just to keep the lights on, which is why any job that doesn't necessarily take advantage or belittle other people, it's still a job. It's still honorable, and it's still going to pay you some money. But on to the topic of ChatGPT. Were you guys aware of its evil twin, WormGPT? So it was created by a hacker to create emails for phishing attacks. /Next, which is a cybersecurity firm, they got a hold of the tool, and you're not going to believe what it's capable of. Now, after asking the AI to create a phishing email, WormGPT was supposedly able to make a very persuasive and cunning email that could be used to conduct sophisticated phishing attacks. So it's ChatGPT without any boundaries or limitations. That doesn't sound scary at all, does it? Man, what do you guys think is going to happen with AI in just a few years? I mean, I've been hearing about it for just a couple of months, hitting the mainstream, and we're already seeing it being used to create stuff like this. You know what I want to see instead? I want to see you guys drop a like for this video, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, all right? I really appreciate it, y'all. But let's go ahead and get back to how scary this type of technology can be. Japan and their national police agency, they have already decided to adopt AI-enhanced pre-crime surveillance cameras in their efforts to improve security measures with their VPs. So the cameras are said to be capable of behavior detection, not to mention facial recognition, although they're saying that, out of respect for people's privacy, they're not going to be using the facial recognition capabilities on these cameras. So they say. But that made me think about a recent paper from the World Economic Forum that was recently released about AI and its responsible use. Yeah, responsible. So it says here that they want to align generative AI models with human values and preferences, although they admit that this needs to be addressed even further. Well, hackers have already made an evil AI. I don't think that mixes very well with our human values. They also say that they want AI to improve our quality of life and not make it worse. So here's my question. Whenever these unelected billionaires are involved, do you guys feel as if our lives are designed or are planned to be made better by what they're asking for us? Like, isn't this the same group of people that said that eating insects and bugs would reduce climate change, and that more of us need to eat bugs and give up our cars and gas stoves, live in 15-minute cities, because basically meat and livestock and cattle contribute so much to gas emissions?
For the future generation, we need to find solutions right now for a better future because of climate change. And edible insects are a solution right now.
One company in Switzerland is looking to lower its carbon footprint by introducing insects as their flagship sustainable superfood product.
My name is Jean-Yves Coinde. I'm owner of Entomos. We are selling a food product made with edible insect. In Switzerland, 3 types of insects are allowed. These are the mealworms, the crickets, and the locust. The insects, they don't have a a strong taste. The advantage is that you can marry it with a lot of different ingredients. Entomos, we are producing snacks, for example, chips or tortillas. We are also producing flour, which can be used for a bakery. We are also producing a flexi burger, which is a burger made 50% of mealworms and 50% made of beef.
J'étais surpris, mais surpris en bien. Ça veut dire il n'y a pas de goût résiduel. Je peux l'associer. Donc mon palais, ma mémoire gustative a trouvé le goût de noisette. Donc je m'y trouve, question gustative, avec cette farine.
And speaking of gas emissions, farmers in Ireland and I guess most European countries, they're facing a tough path to the future as their efforts to meet climate change goals continue to ramp up. So what's happening in Ireland? Well, they're planning to cull around 200,000 healthy cows to meet their goals, with farmers protesting as thousands of jobs may be directly or indirectly affected by this move.
Figures in the Farming Independent showing 200,000 cattle to be culled by 2025, just in a year and a half's time. It's an incredible threat to the farming sector at a cost of about 600 million euros. Now, a full 25% of the beef that's been imported to the European Union is now coming from Brazil. How is it environmentally friendly to fell large swathes of the Amazon, import that beef from Brazil to substitute for Irish beef that is being culled here in this state? There's a significant threat hanging over farmers in this country, and we must have a debate to crystallise exactly what the plan of this government is.
Now, if you guys are not aware, there is a European Green Deal that has 27 countries agreeing to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by at least 55% within the next 7 years. Now, this is obviously a crazy idea, as some countries will have to literally make drastic changes to catch up. Like, seriously, guys, we're starting to fight for climate change with our own food supply. This has to be a part of their plan. It's not just in Ireland either, guys. You guys might be aware that this is also happening in the Netherlands, with farmers bringing out their tractors to the streets in order to protest the approved nature restoration law that would effectively make 30% of European land designated as environmentally protected, meaning that agricultural production in different parts of the continent would be affected, and it's also going to be putting a lot of workers out of jobs in the farming industry. Do any of you guys think that farmers should be treated like this? I mean, it just opens up the possibility of governments pushing for food that aren't necessarily based on meat, but are instead fixated on alternatives like bugs and fake meat. By the way, if you own a home, make sure your home is protected. Get your free home warranty quote. There's a link in the description down below of this video. Now, guys, this is completely in line with what the WEF wants, which is less meat and more obedience. At least that's what it looks like as far as governments are falling in line to keep them all happy. Because as we all know, those in the WEF, they're the ones that are really in power. And again, you know, for the ninth freaking time, these guys, they're not elected officials of any country. So how do they hold so much sway over government leaders like this? Look at what he said last year at a WEF session that was entitled Our World Today: Why Governments Must Act Now. Now, if this title wasn't shady enough for you, I need you guys to read in between the lines of what he says here.
We do know that global energy systems, food systems, and supply chains will be deeply affected. In times of crisis, the role of governments is more important and more relevant than ever. What is also needed is a summit like this one to go beyond crisis management and to look into constructive ways we can build our common future. Our futures are intrinsically connected to one another, as the profound challenges to mankind, such as climate change, are globally interconnected and require collaborative responses.
Do I need to say more than that? How do you guys perceive his message here? Is it that governments need to work together to take care of our food system and supply chains? Or is it that the governments need to work with the World Economic Forum instead? Now, before I go, guys, I just want to thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for all the support. If you made it this far in the video, please drop a quick like. Also consider subscribing, and I will see you on the next one.